We continue to celebrate Black History Month, featuring a series of video interviews of some of our Black brothers and sisters. They tell their stories and share their experiences and reflect on how God has helped them on their journey. This is a chance to get to know them better and be inspired by their struggle and what they've learned. Let's take a look.
My name's Miesha Bailey. I am in the singles ministry of the Westside Church and have been for over 20 years now. I grew up in Long Beach, California, so I'm a Southern California girl, born and raised, and I am number 2 of 5 daughters born to my parents, and grew up in a single parent home. My mother was the mother and the father, and so there was a lot of pressure for her to provide, which she did, but it was not easy. And I saw the stress, and I saw the toll that the stress took. But she always found a way to rise above whatever hardship she was facing. And we always had what we needed and a lot of what we wanted. And something that I really appreciate and feel blessed by is that I had grandparents and other extended family members who stood in the gap and helped my mother to take care of us. When I was in elementary school, I was my favorite teacher in the world, Mr. Osterholt. Maybe someday he'll see this. He took a special interest in me and felt that I was far too advanced to be in his class. So I spent half of the year in 5th grade, and then I was moved to the 6th grade. I attribute that love for learning. It was planted in me at a young age. So when I graduated from high school, I was privileged to be accepted to UCLA. My sister was a year ahead of me, and she was a sophomore there. So we were very fortunate to be able to attend a great school together. As I was walking from the dorms to the main campus at UCLA, I encountered quite a few people who would invite me to church. And yes, they invited me to church, but it wasn't just about church. And I felt a different spirit. I felt they possessed a different spirit. There was a radiance that attracted me. I can't say that I was open, even though I was looking for God, but I had some negative experiences with church in the past. I exchanged numbers with one of the ladies, Ruth Chow, and she invited me to I think it was like a pizza party at Shakey's or something. She said, a lot of people are going to be there. It'll be fun. I'm like, okay, that I'll go to. I like pizza. And I just remember meeting all these really cool people, very nice, down to earth. It was. I felt at home. So I'm actually very fortunate in that my childhood, I was raised going to school with the Rainbow Coalition, basically. I went to multi-ethnic schools my whole life and had friends from all backgrounds and had a very positive childhood experience in that regard. And even at UCLA, it was wonderful. I didn't have a defining moment. Those moments have happened in my later years, actually. I recall an instance where I went to a car dealership. I was standing in line, waiting to be called up by the cashier. When it was my turn, and she looked down, and then she looked up and saw that I was next, and her whole facial expression changed, and as did her energy. Very, very cold, unpleasant, businesslike. and she got on the speaker. She provided the description of me as the big black girl. I consider myself a fairly confident, capable, well-rounded person, but I am human, and that, as much as I hate to admit it, that shook me. A figure in African American history that inspires me greatly. There's so many, but the first person that came to mind is Maya Angelou. I think about her life, which was not easy by any means. I don't know if you know the story of Maya Angelou, but she was abused as a child and didn't speak for years. She was mute as a result of the trauma that she experienced. And she details her story in a autobiography called I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. And I remember the profound impact her story had on me and on my perspective of not allowing hardships to destroy you. And she flourished. She flourished during that time. In spite, she transformed the trauma into an amazing gift that she gave to the world in all of her stories. Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me. Something about Jesus' character, I mean, obviously there are so many things. He was perfect, but was his deep love and care for humanity. If we could just look at each other and say, you are perfectly made, handcrafted by God. He gave you the skin color that you have, the shape of your eyes, the texture of your hair. It's all beautiful. One isn't better than the other. I mean, God looks at us and sees us all as beautiful and worthy of love and embraces us. So we ought to do that for one another.